Why, hello there, everybody. How are you doing today? It's me again and again. I'm here to bring you yet another update. And today's update is the same as yesterday's update and all the updates in the past. My phone has not gone one ringy-dingy. Yet. Because it's going to. My phone is going to ring. I am seeing Almighty God move across this land. You see, the difference between when Almighty God moves and when man moves is man operates under the flesh. They shame, they berate, they belittle, they agitate, they aggravate, they divide and conquer. When Almighty God moves, He does the exact opposite. Because, well, He's Almighty God. He encourages, He builds up, He inspires, He emboldens. And that's exactly what you're seeing going on throughout our country. You have the control freaks, the lost, the deceived, acting a fool, going back to their old standard of, race baiting, divisiveness, controlling, ridiculing, belittling. And then on the other side, you have people that you just wouldn't believe. People who are just popping up left and right. I just saw a video last night of a man, I don't know, he was in front of a city council or something. And he was just telling them what. He was reminding the city council who is in charge. You criminals aren't in charge. We law-abiding citizens are in charge. And if need be, pay close attention. This wasn't some Bible-thumping guy. Oh, this wasn't some, at least he didn't appear to be college educated. But he was educated. He knew the way that our country is designed to work. So he was at least properly educated. And, oh, that's right, he was a black man. From California. And what was he saying? He's saying, if need be, I'll get me and some of my brothers together, and we will start having some citizens arrests. He was talking to the law enforcement. Pay close attention, you fakes and frauds and counterfeits. You fakes and frauds and counterfeits, it is we law-abiding citizens who give you the authority to enforce the law. And if you, who have taken an oath, refuse to fulfill that oath, choose instead to use your position to overlook, then guess what? You are violating the oath. And I got news for you. You are impersonating a law enforcement officer. You are impersonating an elected official, which I don't know what it is out in California. I know what it is here in Florida. In Florida, it's a third-degree felony. And it only takes one felony. One felony. One felony to make the person unworthy for the office. A lawyer only has to commit one felony, and they're disbarred. Same thing for a judge. Same thing for a law enforcement officer. You can't have criminals enforcing the law because, well, hello, criminals refuse to enforce the law because, well, they're criminals. Now, with that in mind, look at the little. You give them enough rope, they hang themselves. Look at the little gun protest that they just had. You got little kids, children, High school age kids. High school age children holding up some of the most vile, obnoxious. If they would wear a T-shirt with the words on that they had on those signs of school, they would be sent home. But it's okay. The teachers overlooked that. The time for overlooking is over and done with. The time for overlooking is over and done with. We have kicked this can down this road far too long. It's time for some good old-fashioned discipline, and that's exactly what's going on in this country. So go ahead. You want to talk about race baiting? You want to be a little race baiter? Go ahead, because we're all tired of it. All of us. Black, white, red, brown, purple, yellow, plaid, polka dot, striped. We're tired of it. We see what you're trying to do. The time for shaming is over and done with. We're tired of it. All of us. Because accountability is here. That's what's going on in this country. So, hey, hello, you fakes, you frauds, you counterfeits. You all just keep going on. You all just keep creating a new situation, or keep trying to create a new situation. That's all that kids' march was. No, we have not forgot about the lack of accountability and the lack of people doing their jobs down there in South Florida. We haven't, just because you got that title does not mean that you have authority, nor does it mean that you are infallible. We all see that. We all know that now. It's all crystal clear to us now. You law enforcement officers have said that you have taken an oath to your Creator to operate under His legal authority, under His jurisdictional authority that He has set up, and you all have chosen to do the exact opposite. You dummies. The blood of all of those children are on your hands. Hey, Christian, you're not off the hook either. We Christians have allowed abortion to keep going on in this country, and now Almighty God says it's time to stop killing these babies. The time for overlooking is over and done with. And right here in Jacksonville, Florida, right here in the middle of the Bible Belt, right. We got our own problems. Guess what? You supposed authorities have been lying about me. Does a judge lie? No. My record says, according to my record, which there is no record of, it says that I am one of the most, I committed one of the most vile, disgusting acts around. Lewd or lascivious sexual battery, which is again, I know it's sick, but hello, the supposed authority has been saying that I did this for over 20 years. What is lewd and lascivious sexual battery? That means I had some type of sex, either oral sex, anal sex, or vaginal sex, with a child under the age of 16. Guess what there isn't a record of? There is not a record of not only myself, there is not a record of anyone by the name of Kerry Nelson, not only in the state of Florida, but in the entire United States of America, ever committing that crime. Period. Well, if there's no record of anyone by the name of Kerry Nelson in the entire United States of America, then how in the world, and why in the world, does it say, does my record say, right in downtown Jacksonville, right in the 4th Circuit Clerk of the Court's office, in the 4th Circuit Clerk of the Circuit Court office, is there a case file that says that I was arrested for that? Why does my Jacksonville Sheriff's Office official arrest and booking report, official criminal history report say that? That I was arrested on 12/3/1997 for, you ready? Lewd or lewd or lascivious sexual battery. They can't produce a document when there's no record of anyone in the entire United States of America ever committing that crime. Nor is there a record of anyone in the state of Florida on 12/3/1997 committing that crime. Oh, and by the way, I'm the only Kerry Nelson in the state of Florida that has a criminal record. And oh, by the way, according to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, which is the official record keeper for all criminal records in the state of Florida, I am the only Kerry Nelson in the entire state of Florida that even has a criminal record. And my criminal record is listed with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, which is the official record keeper for all criminal records in the state of Florida, doesn't exist. They can't produce not one document. It's a lie. Why? Because, well, the cover-up of what they did to me. Folks, they have stolen 20 years of my life. Guess what? I'm getting my 20 years of life back. Because what they did to me, because of them trying to cover it up, and they documented themselves covering it up 20 years later, or several years later, because they tried to cover up everybody involved in it, that's a felony. Everybody that tried to cover it up, that was involved in the cover-up, they stopped being judges, they stopped being attorneys. They stopped being law enforcement officers. That says me, so says the law. And because of that, all of their actions, they didn't have any legal authority to do anything after that, yet they kept doing it. And one of the little scumbags, one of the little criminals that was involved in that, one Terrence Martin, he is the one that made a plea deal with one Donald Smith that released Donald Smith from jail out here from downtown Jacksonville on May 31st, 2013, only to have that same one Donald Smith 21 days later kidnap, rape, and murder 8-year-old Cherish Periwinkle. And Terrence Martin stopped being attorney way back in 1998, January of 1998, when he filed false papers to and before the clerk of the court, the Fourth Circuit County Court here in Jacksonville, Florida, lying about me. And it was all documented. Meaning he stopped being a state attorney. And the reason why he filed false paperwork was because they were trying to make it go away. They were trying to do something off of the books. In the videos, folks. Over on the TubeU channel, whole playlist. You all got time to watch all these sporting events and all these stupid little cat videos. It's okay. Eyes are open up. Watch it. Don't watch it. I don't care. I don't have to convince you. I have everything on my side. And now they're sweating bullets. We are tired of the overlooking. We are not going to walk around with innocent blood on our hands. No, my friend. Just because you have a title doesn't mean that you are perfect. Does not mean that you are incapable of violating the law. That's both man's law as well as spiritual law. Just because you profess to be a Christian doesn't make you a Christian, any more than professing to be a law enforcement officer make you a law enforcement officer. We can see right through you now, and we are tired of it. And we are coming for you. We are coming for you because we see what happens. What happens when fakes and frauds and counterfeits are allowed to remain? Well, you get the kids out jumping up on top of police cars, holding up signs using vulgar language. promoting something and standing up for something that they have absolutely no clue about what in the world they're talking about. No idea about what, and the only reason why they're bringing out the kids now is to distract us from the failure of these supposed authorities. You know, the fakes, the frauds, the counterfeits. Again, just because you grab a title doesn't mean you're a genuine article. And what else happens? Well, 20 years of someone's life gets stolen from them. What else happens? 3 women are convinced that it's their fault. The 3 Thornton women are convinced that it's their fault that 8-year-old Cherish Periwinkle was kidnapped, raped, and murdered. Again, folks, TubeU channel. I can't explain it to you in 3 minutes. And then what else happens? Well, the Periwinkle family gets torn asunder, gets torn apart. And then let's not forget, an 8-year-old little girl by the name of Cherish Periwinkle gets kidnapped, raped, and murdered. All why? All because a group of fakes and frauds and counterfeits didn't want to lose their job. They did not want to admit. They did not want to admit that they had done wrong. They tried to cover up. They believed they had the ability and the authority and the capability of covering it up. Well, guess what, son? You done messed with Almighty God's property. I'm a child of the Most High God. I have been purchased by a price. I am no longer my own. I am my Lord's, my Savior's, my Redeemer's. I am a child of the Most High God, a humble servant of the one true living God. And he showed me what has happened to me, and I said one thing. I said, okay, Lord, what do I do? He said, you just stand and you tell the truth. And it is the knowledge of the truth that will make men free. Well, I'm telling the truth. Other people are telling the truth. You fakes, you frauds, you counterfeits, you all are not in charge. There is no one above us. There is no one below us. We are all accountable, and we are holding you accountable. If you are incapable of keeping your oath, then it's time for you to go. If you have violated your oath, it's time for you to go. If you are in there deliberately choosing to obstruct, distract, agitate, race bait, divide, then you are no godly authority. Not so says man, so says the law, because so says the word of Almighty God, because so says Almighty God. You are no godly authority. And you got to go. And we see it now. And we are coming for you. So don't know when, but we coming. Because this is a move of Almighty God. Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, so shall he also reap. Well, guess what, you fakes, you frauds, you counterfeits? It's reaping time. Just saying.